Hello everyone and welcome to my latest Rust Quickie. In my last Rust Quickie I have talked about slices, and today I want to talk about another very important topic in Rust, so-called tuples. So let's switch over to Visual Studio Code, where I want to discuss that concept to you in more details. A tuple in Rust is just a collection of values of different types. I'm defining here a very simple tuple which just contains three different values: a string value for my first name, another string value for my city where I'm living, and an integer value for my birth year. As you can see, the tuple itself is defined with the values inside parentheses, and then we can again print out the tuple with the print line macro, and I'm using here a format specifier which just prints out the whole tuple that we are passing in here as a parameter. So let's run that with a cargo run command, and as you can see, we have here our tuple with my first name, with the city where I'm living, and with my birth year. We can, of course, reference the different elements of the tuple individually. As you can see here, I'm using here the index of the field inside the tuple to print out the individual elements. So the index 0 is my first name, index 1 is the city where I'm living, and index 2 is my birth year. So when we run that again now, you can see now that we were able to extract the individual values from the tuple. But as you can see, the elements of the tuple, they have no names. You just have to reference them by index. So index 0, index 1 and index 2, as you have seen here in that example. You can also use a tuple in Rust to initialize variables. That is called destructuring a tuple. As you can see, I'm defining here a few variables, the variables first name, city and age, and I'm initializing those variables directly from the tuple that I have defined here. So we have here now three new variables, and again we print out those variables through the print line macro. So let's run that example, and as you can see, we were able to initialize those variables directly from a tuple. As I've said, this is called destructuring a tuple in Rust. A tuple in Rust is also able just to contain a single element. As you can see here, I'm defining a tuple with just one element, with my birth year. Here it is very important that you use the comma, because when you are not using the comma at the end, you would just define here an integer variable. So the comma just signals the Rust compiler that you want to define here a tuple, and in our case we are just defining a one element tuple. So let's run that code, and you can see we are dealing here with a tuple. When we remove that comma and we run that code again, you can see there's no tuple anymore. This is just an integer value. So it's very important when you define a one element tuple that you use the comma at the end, so that the Rust compiler knows that you want to define a tuple. In today's Rust Quickie, I have covered tuples, which are a very important concept within the Rust programming language. As you will see over my upcoming Rust Quickies, tuples are very important inside Rust, and they are used very often. So thanks for watching my Rust Quickie, and I'm already looking forward to see you next week again, where I want to talk in more detail about strings in Rust. Thank you.